we're asked to write this right here in word form. And I'm not saying it out loud because that would give the answer away. We have 63.15 that we want to write in word form. Well, the stuff to the left of the decimal point is pretty straightforward. Let me actually color code it. So we have 63, and then we have actually, let me do it all in different colors. 63, and then we have a decimal, and then we have a 1 and a 5. 1 and a 5. Now there's there's one common way of doing this, but we'll talk about the different ways you could express this as a word. But we know how to write this stuff to the left. This is pretty straightforward. This is just 63. So let me write that down. So this is 63, 63. And instead of the decimal, we'll write and. And. Now there's two ways to go here. We could say and 1/10 and 5. We could say and 1/10 and 5 hundredths. Or we could just say, look, this is 15 hundredths. 1/10 is 10 hundredths. So 1/10 and 5 hundredths is 15 hundredths. So maybe I could write it like this: 63 and 15 hundredths. Hundredths. Just like that. Now, it might have been a little bit more natural to say, hey, how come I don't say 1/10 and then 5 hundredths? And you could, but that would just make it a little bit harder for someone's brain to process it when you say it. So it could have been 63. So let me copy and paste that. Copy and paste. It could be 63 and then you would write, 1/10, 1/10 for this digit right there, and 5 hundredths, and 5 hundredths, 5 hundredths. 5 hundredths. Now I think you can appreciate that this is a little bit, 63 and 1/10 and 5 hundredths is hard for most people's brains to process. But if say 15 hundredths, people get what you're saying. This right here, not to beat a dead horse, but this right here, this is 1/10 right here, and then this is 5 hundredths. This is 5 hundredths. 5 over 100. But if you were to add these two, if you were to add 1/10 plus 500, so let's do that. If you were to add 1/10 plus 5 hundredths plus 5 hundredths, how would you do it? Well, you need a common denominator. 100 is divisible by both 10 and 100. So multiply both the numerator and denominator of this character by 10. You get 10 on the top and 100 on the bottom. 1/10 is the same thing as 10 over 100. 10 hundredths plus 5 hundredths is equal to 15 over 100. So this piece right here is equal to 15 over 100. And that's why we say 63 and 15 hundredths.